Hello, I'm James Preston and welcome to another edition of Executive Corner Expert Talks exclusive to 𝐊𝐶𝐞 TV. In this episode, we'll be shining a light on Ascension Cloud Solutions, a tech consulting agency based in Wollongong in New South Wales. It works with experts in a wide range of technologies and practices in order to provide businesses a holistic approach that ensures a stable design, execution and integration when implementing software for business. Connor Goldberg is the Managing Director of Ascension Cloud Solutions and he joins me now for an in-depth look at the company. Connor, great to have your company today.
Hey James, great to be here.
Now Connor, I've just given a brief little overview of what Ascension Cloud Services does, but in your own words, what exactly are the services that Ascension Cloud Solutions provides for other businesses?
Sure. By and large, we're a tech-based consultancy that that looks to streamline different business processes for a wide range of different types of business models. Primarily, our customer focus is more geared towards startups and emerging businesses that are looking to sort of build their digital brand footprint. And so that'll include things like web design and development, different SEO and digital marketing strategies, as well as integrating their social media platforms, communications with internal staff, and different custom level applications for internal administration use, as well as custom built mobile applications if they're looking to go to the consumer market.
So quite a diverse array of things that you're covering there. I mean, it's pretty much a one-stop shop solution for any business that is looking to have an online presence, I would imagine. And that is something I want to focus on here. Obviously, the backdrop of the pandemic has meant a large amount of work has now shifted remotely, or businesses being shut down means that a very strong online presence has never been more important. So in your opinion, which tools do businesses need to conduct a professional marketing platform and really solidify their online existence?
Yeah, so by and large, it's going to really depend on what you're after as a business. We primarily work with Shopify stores since they have a dedicated suite of plugins which can be implemented on standalone sites, as well as the ability to offer a order fulfillment and tracking service for their e-commerce type stores. Overall, the tooling that Shopify seems to provide with their themes and layouts fit with the majority of our clients' needs and offer a good all-in-one solution to a more professional marketing standpoint. However, some clients are going to require custom-built web and mobile applications that we alluded to earlier, as well as different customer resource management platforms and administration portals. For those clients, we'll use a wide range of different technologies that we build in-house that are specific to their own needs. For our design process, we're going to use tools such as InDesign and Figma so that clients can easily visualize and ensure that their digital design standards are adhered to. And we'll also integrate different types of technologies powered by MySQL, DynamoDB, Node.js, and React for more of their tech-based requirements with their web and mobile applications.
Well, you may have mentioned there about e-commerce. What would you say are some of the key e-business strategies that companies should be focusing on given the current climate that we're experiencing?
Yeah, sure. I'd say for e-commerce specifically, by and large, your marketing strategy needs to be on point. So some good tips for marketing strategy would be to have a blog and outreach to other media channels so that you can provide valuable free content for your user base to consistently come in and actually get some actual value out of your company and sort of build that brand awareness. Paid advertisement through social media platforms is also another big one. Right now, the two main players would be Instagram and Facebook, and actually promoting your advertisements through them and increasing your advertisement engagement by using things such as video and visual effects will help you actually stand out from the crowd. Other different tips for other e-businesses would be to actually improve your communication channels. There are actually a wide range of tools that are available, such as Slack, Discord, Microsoft Teams, and Skype, that will actually be available for remote businesses so that they can actually reduce their expenses and in turn allow for an increased budget for remote work expenses for their own staff. This may include things like internet rebates to ensure that their internet service provided is of a high standard, company laptops so that they have their hardware requirements met, as well as other software licenses that are going to be required on a day-to-day basis so that you can maintain that business as usual flow and ensure that you have a steady work environment for your staff members.
Well, Connie, you may have mentioned there about part of this being obviously the promotion of what you're doing with your business, and Facebook and Instagram being two of the places to look at there. Obviously, there's a whole other list of them, whether it be Pinterest or Twitter or anything like that. TikTok is obviously one that's now come through in the past, say, 18 months, pretty much since the pandemic came about. Is that one that you're now looking a bit closer at, given it is seeing such a huge rise recently?
I think that TikTok in particular is a very interesting sort of concept, and that it's seeing a wide range of growth. However, from my own personal perspective, I see TikTok as more of a trend as opposed to something that's sustainable long term. If you were to ask me the same question as Vine, Vine and TikTok are largely very comparable to each other as social media platforms, whereas TikTok is sort of trying to really build that brand awareness and actually sort of pivot into a space that Vine wasn't able to do within a short amount of time. Whether or not they're there yet to the point where they can actually become a sustainable platform on their own, right now it's too early to tell, but I'm very much of the opinion that currently, I think it's just a trend, and it'll likely fade within maybe 3-4 years or so.
Wow, big call, but look, I like that there's a bit of confidence behind it. Let's have a look at some of the packages that you offer there for Ascension Cloud Solutions. Could you break down what each of those packages entails and if they're catered to different sort of budgets?
Yeah, sure. So we offer a wide variety of packages that are usually tailor-built to take into a business's budget into consideration. Currently, we actually do have a limited time offer where we're selling single custom landing pages using a single layout that we have built for our other clients for starting at a price of $550. This will include all domain hosting costs for the first 3 years, as well as provide 5 company email addresses that are dedicated for your staff members. Going up from there, we do offer 3, 4, 5 webpage solutions at fixed price contracts, varying at about $1,500 or so per page. On top of that, we do also offer different SEO and digital marketing services. However, those are all custom and tailored built depending on what sort of outreach you're trying to get and achieve for your own marketing purposes.
Connor, have you also noticed a bit of a shift towards custom mobile and web applications? Because I know you're talking there about primarily websites, but one thing we are seeing, of course, is a rise of everybody wanting to have their own smartphone app, for example. So have you seen an increase in that space? And if there has been, why do you think that is?
Look, I think by and large, the demand for mobile and web apps haven't really changed drastically over the past 5 years or so. But right now, we're seeing a current change in demand or shift in terms of the technologies used to develop mobile applications in particular. So if we look to the web application space, right, we have a lot of templated solutions that are making it easier for business owners to actually implement their own web design practices through Shopify, WordPress, Wix, Elementor, Magento, the list goes on. There's a solution dedicated to a wide variety of business owners that try to cut out the development process. But over time, what we're seeing happening is that certain platforms or products will actually require a specialist in that field to really understand the different features that each service offers and when to actually implement what for a particular solution. And so, by and large, I think the simplest approach is to just have something that is a simple platform that business owners can sort of implement, and then you can have a specialist sort of extend upon it. So if you make something too feature heavy, user experience isn't going to be as great. And I think a lot of those templated solutions are starting to suffer from that as a result. In terms of the mobile development space, though, by and large, you need to have a development company that's really able to sort of build a custom mobile app for yourself as a business owner. And I think if there is going to be a shift, it'll largely be a similar sort of direction as the web-based applications. You're going to have these companies that are looking to bridge the gap between mobile developer and business owner, so that a business owner can then drag and drop these different modules, custom build a little mobile app for themselves, and then immediately publish and market it. And I think that's probably where the shift is probably going to be headed for, in that direction.
I think you're right. I mean, we've seen things like Canva, for example, now being valued at more than Telstra, and that was not a thing, about 6-7 years ago. It's had such a huge rise, and much the same as things like Wix, or whether it's WordPress. It's having that ability to cut out the middleman, I suppose. But when it comes down to creating, as you said, those very specialised niche apps that do exactly what the business is after, that's when it does come time to consult an expert like yourself. One of the other things that you're doing there is UX design. Now, for the uninitiated, can you break down what UX design is and what are the solutions that you offer in that space?
Sure. So UX design is primarily putting yourself into the position of the customer to provide the best user experience possible, hence the term UX. So you want to think about what value your product is actually trying to achieve and accomplish for your own user base. And then you want to sort of eliminate all the different little middleman processes that happen in between, so that a customer isn't deterred from utilizing your platform. So we operate off of a 5-step process in terms of our development launch. What we'll do is we'll have an initial project planning and consultation that lets us get to know the ins and outs of your business and your business model, what sort of practices you're trying to achieve, what your goals are, and what your users are largely trying to get out of your product. Then we'll opt to have an architectural design stage. This will incorporate things like wireframes, data gathering and market research, as well as an assessment on the different technologies that will be required. And then once that has all been established and we have a visual rendering that's been adhered to, we will then move on to the development and implementation of those technologies that we have deemed to be necessary for the project. Then we undergo a phase of testing with the business owners and, of course, deployment and launch so that it goes direct to the consumer. So during that architectural design phase, that's where we plot out the user journey and we try and put ourselves in the shoes of our ideal customers. So we'll have a wide variety of customers that will come in, but based on market research data gathered through surveys, analytics, etc., we can sort of plot out what an ideal user of our product looks like, how they interact with the app, and ensure that the majority of our user base is going to be happy with the features that we provide in as streamlined as a manner as possible. Ultimately, that's what UX is trying to achieve, and it's all about just making your product easier and more intuitive to utilize for your user base.
And I can tell you now, 100% WordPress is not going to be able to do that for you. That is far too complex, and that's where you come in. Connor, just before I let you go, where can we find Ascension Cloud Solutions?
Yeah, sure. So we're right now we're on our social media accounts for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And you can also visit us on our website at ascensioncloudsolutions.com.
Wonderful stuff. Well, Connor, great to chat today. Hopefully we can catch up soon to dive a little bit more into Ascension.
Thank you. Thanks, Ryan.
That's Connor Goldberg, the Managing Director of Ascension Cloud Solutions. And if you missed any part of that chat or you'd like to browse our extensive catalogue of expert talks, simply head across to our YouTube channel, 𝐊𝐶 Media. That's all for this edition of Executive Corner Expert Talks. I'm James Preston, reminding you to stay apprised and invest wise with 𝐊𝐶.